Hi everyone. Excuse me. I don't know why I've got a very bad throat today. You might be able to hear it. Yes, Big Bash. Oh, hi to all of you. Yes, Big Bash, I am definitely feeling better now. I feel like all systems are back online. I mean, I still get tired. Like, I don't know why that still happens, but I am feeling much better than I did before. But my throat is still recovering. Okay, Jess says I can't hear you. Can you guys hear me? I'm just gonna wait for you guys to respond. There's always a few second delay with the live stream from what I say and when you guys receive it. My volume is down. Okay. Try to put your volume up because no one else seems to be saying that. Is my volume down or is it alright? Yep, Jess, I thought your volume was going to be low because everyone else could hear me. That's great. Okay, so yes, I am definitely feeling better, which is good. So I'm definitely getting back into working on the videos. In fact, yesterday I've finished off most of the voiceover for my Avatar The Last Airbender versus video. You know, the show versus the animated show versus the Netflix show. I just finished doing it. In fact, I've only just got the intro of the video to record and the conclusion of the video to record, but all the other voiceovers in between, I've got those all done. I just need to start to, edit them and, cut the voiceovers down and put the footage in and then put my music in and then I've got to put in the posters and animate everything and the footage and the clips and everything. So there's a lot to do with that video, but now I can go back to working on it. Also, the Puss in Boots video, I haven't gotten started on it yet. I've got all my notes prepared. I've got a lot of the categories put into place as to what I'm going to be talking about. I do need to see that first movie because I was going to watch it. I said in one of my previous streams that I was going to watch it, but I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't end up watching it. So I need to watch it. Watch it first, then watch the second one, then start writing more notes. Is what I've got to do. My Echo Binge Watch video, Jess, it is complete. I just wanted to wait so I could release it a little bit sooner to my next video, because it is an older video now, but it's because I was ill. I wasn't able to really get it done sooner. In terms of the Spider-Man versus video you guys are saying, I am working on that. In fact, I've just secured a sponsorship as well for that video, which I'll be doing. So yeah, that video will be coming out, but I've got some others I'm doing first. But the Spider-Man one, it is going to be put back onto the list. But first I need to finish off the Avatar video, then I've got to do the Puss in Boots video, and I'm thinking of doing a couple of brief versus videos in between. Tomorrow I want to go see Godzilla Frozen New Empire and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and I'll see if I can do 2 mini versus videos between Ghostbusters Afterlife and then the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire and Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla X Kong. I'm not making any promises though, so don't say, Eric, you said you would do this. It is basically... I'm just reading one of those, one of the comments in the chat. But I am considering doing a couple of extra mini versus videos for you guys, just to give you something extra. So, Master Combatant, I'm so glad you got your name back, is donated $2 to the stream. Thank you very much, buddy. Like I said, anyone who donates really does help. Help support the channel, help keep me going. And Master Combatant says, "You're very tired today, Eric." I know, it looks like I'm tired. It's because I had eczema, which I said sparked up. So, yeah, it is to do with my eczema, unfortunately. Yeah. That's why I look tired. Man, I got another super chat. 2 more super chats. Wow, thank you very much, guys. I got it. 1 super chat, $2 super chat. Ooh, that's Australian dollars. From where is it? Sometimes I forget where you guys are, so varied. The Book of Doc, your amount and message will be public. Are you talking about the message for the super chats? The amount and the message will be public? Yeah, that's how it usually is. Except if you donate using Streamlabs on the top, then only I will see your name and the amount you've donated. And Master Combatant says, I look very tired. Oh, because it was, you misspelled it at the beginning. Oh, yeah, it is just the eczema. Keep that in mind. That's why I look like I've got patches near my eyes. It's annoying. It's what happens when you have eczema. And I got it when I had my cold. I said to you guys I got COVID, a flu, and eczema all at once. So yeah, I look that way, but I'm not. Trust me, it doesn't look as dark as it does on the video. I don't know why the video is just making it look that way. Let me see. Can I bring my light up to my face a bit more? It is the eczema, trust me. That's what usually causes me to look like this. Yeah, but no, I'm not really that tired right now. Hello, Eric. Hi, Fireboy. I'm doing good. Big Bash says, does eczema stay with you for the rest of your life? Is there a way to cure it? Well, I've always had little patches of eczema somewhere, like on my arm over here when I was younger. Then it came on the other arm the year after that, and then I think it would go under my eyes. But then one time, I was at the park in my opposite my grandparents' house, and all of a sudden, when we came back home the next day, I just had eczema all over my body. It was scary. So that was when I was 16. Now I'm in my late 20s and I've still got eczema. It spikes up here and on different occasions, but ultimately it's really you can't predict eczema. Basically, it's not something that's been cured, unfortunately. I don't think there is a cure for eczema. You could just try to do your best to deal with it. Rohan says, how's your day going? My day is going quite well. My day is going quite well. It's just I've got a lot of videos to edit and catch up on, so it's definitely an overwhelming day. And having to do the live stream, it's really nice with you guys, but because I was trying to be in a rhythm, I had to basically stop, prepare the live stream. So that basically put a bit of a stop on the work I was doing. I would like to continue, but I always do live streams with you guys every Sunday, so I'm glad I still got to do this. The G Gamer says, can I ask for versus videos? How long do they usually take for both two-way and three-way? Three-way versus videos take a long time. They can take a very long time. The two-way versus videos, it really depends on the level of involvement for each video. Like for video game versus videos, they take a while. The Spider-Man 1 versus 2 one, look how long that's taken me. And mainly that's because I've got other videos to work on too, so your schedule can get packed, and the gaming ones can take longer. So yeah, the gaming ones take a while. And it also depends on just how long I want the video to be. So if I want it to be a 40-minute long versus video between two movies, it can take a while to do. It really does depend on how long the versus videos are. If you go back to my early days of doing versus videos, when I wanted to make sure they were about 10 minutes each, and I didn't want them to go beyond that, I could get them done so much quicker. But now they're more in-depth, so they take longer. And I got a cold, so they took even longer, which was annoying. Manola says that my friend thought you were singing in your Pinocchio video. Really? Which part did I sing on in my Which part did you think, or did they think, I was singing on? That's bizarre. Hi, Batman. Well, that's funny to say. Hi, Batman. I'm doing well. I'm doing much better than I did before. So thank you for asking. Big Bash, is the Spider-Man video over 40 or is it less? It's about 40 to over 40 minutes. We'll see if I can cut any of it down later to make it more concise, but so far that's what it seems to be. Cosmic Studio says, have you ever seen Hell of a Boss? I recently binged all of it and instantly fell in love with it. It's actually hilarious and has genuinely compelling characters and relationships. No, I haven't seen it, I'm sorry to say. Velka says, sorry Eric, but I like seeing your reactions. But imagine the Venom animated movie having sausage party movie humor. Venom plucking in Eddie's mouth and Seth Rogen's gross humor. I will not like that, so I hope they don't do that. It's okay, Cosmic Studios. I've given Velka permission to spam 3 times, because back in the day he used to spam like 7-8 times. So I've said 3 is okay. But Velka, maybe now you can do it twice, because your messages do seem to be quite long, and if you do it twice, I can see it. If you do it 3 times, that does seem like it's just spamming the chat. So in future, try doing it twice, not more than that. No, I've not seen Kung Fu Panda 4 yet, Bill Cipher. And I've got another, well, $5 donation from Master Combatant. And my pen, for some reason, is just acting like it's dried out. What is it doing? Seriously. $5 donation from Master Combatant. Thank you very much, buddy. If you haven't seen Kung Fu Panda 4 yet, I feel I should warn you that Awkwafina is Poe's co-star. She plays a similar role to her previous movies. Of course she does. I remember hearing that she was going to be in it, and I did not like that. Seriously. It's ridiculous when they keep putting these actors in and they keep doing the same shtick, even when it's not funny. Even the actor that was in Eternals, what was his name? I forgot it. Usually I remember, but I forgot it. He was in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. He's in that new... Kumail Nanjiani, that was it, him. He's in the new Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and from what I hear, he does not belong in the film. It's like he stands out. Darksaber says, hey Eric, what do you think of Joker 2 trailer? You have to go to my Patreon to find out, to know what I thought about that. It's just literally just $1 on Patreon. It helps out a great deal in supporting the channel, and you get my trailer reactions and all my previous and upcoming trailer reactions. Let's see. Fallout is extremely good, says JSMLXJS. I've heard it's good, and it's got Jonathan Nolan as I think the showrunner as well, so that's great. Let's see. Okay, everyone. So, you guys ready to move on to the first story of the day? Awkwafina ruined Redfield. Yeah, she was not... That whole thing was just dumb in that movie. So, unless I get any super chats or Streamlab chats, looks like we're going to be moving on to the first story. So, let's see here. Okay. Let me just get this ready here. Yeah, Crazy Cat Lady, I do feel better. I've already given an update on my health, but I am feeling a lot better. Almost there to recovery. My voice still goes out at times, so doing the voiceovers is not easy. In fact, I did the voiceover yesterday for Avatar, and right towards the end, I think we had a power cut or something, and the computer just shut down. And I was right towards the end of the voiceover in that particular segment. That was annoying. Got me really angry, that did. Alright, so, first story. Trevor Bistro, I've not seen either of those movies, although I did watch the first Omen movie for the first time, me and my brother, the other day, just a couple days ago. It was a good movie. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the stories. As always... Oops, a daisy, looks like I've done that a bit too prematurely. As always, when I do these stories, I'm not going to be answering questions in the chat. The only questions I will answer are super chats or Streamlabs chats with the link that I've pinned in the chat. So... if you want a question answered, even though I'm telling the story, or if you want to ask me a question about the story I'm talking about and you want me to answer it immediately, then it has to be either a super chat or a Streamlabs chat. That is the only way I'll be answering them whilst I'm talking about the stories. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait right towards the end of the stream to ask your questions. Alright then, let's get back to it. Okay, it looks like we got a super chat right as I did that. The Book of Dark asked a very weird, sadistic question. I don't know if you guys can see it right there, but are you capable of murdering someone tonight? Everyone is. Doesn't mean that you do it. But ask Israel. They'll most likely do it. They'll most likely do it. Well, not most likely. They will. Okay. Now, it's time to get back to the story. Hi, Zilla Universe. Great to see you here. So... I was actually very excited when I heard about this. A live-action, R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie is in the works. And the producer is Walter Hamada. Now, at first glance, people will be like, Walter Hamada, not him. He's one of the people that came in and did try to take over the DC universe, and it's because of him we had movies like Aquaman 2, Shazam 2, Birds of Prey. We also had... what else was it? Basically a bunch of those the latter DC EU movies that came out. And James Gunn has ultimately replaced him, and now he's moved on to Paramount to be a producer there for their horror movies and such. Which is interesting because Walter Hamada was actually the producer of horror movies in Warner Brothers. It's how James Wan was able to make The Conjuring, and then the Conjuring universe came about. And I think Walter Hamada, if I remember correctly, produced It, but I can't remember correctly, so don't hold me to that. So he's now gone over to Paramount, and boy, has he made a splash with his first producing gig. He actually wants to produce an R-rated live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie based on the Last Ronin comic. And this is great because I wanted this kind of thing, but I just didn't think that studios had the balls to do something like this. I mean, certainly if it was Sony would announce that it'll be rated R, and then just like with their Venom movies, they'll say, oh no, now we've changed our minds, it's going to be PG-13. They won't even tell you they've changed their minds. They'll just quietly say, oh no, it was always meant to be a PG-13 to reach a broader audience. But other studios are not Sony, and I feel like if they were to make announcements like this, they will follow up with it. The only slightly concerning thing is that the writer for this movie is the writer of Boy Kills World. The trailer reaction I did for one of you guys, it was Jake, because he wanted to know what my thoughts were in that trailer, and I had never even heard of the movie, so I ended up doing the trailer reaction. It's interesting that they get a writer like that to write this movie. I would think they should get a more prestigious writer, because I feel like they could do some really good drama with this. Maybe make it like Logan, but with the Turtles. But instead they got just kind of the writers you would expect them to get, the real non-caring writers. So I don't know why Walter Hamada did that. I would have liked him to have gotten a better writer, but unfortunately he hasn't done that. So we'll see how this guy does. I don't know. But yeah, it is interesting, and Dark Saber has just said it. It's exactly what I was thinking when I heard about the story, is that we're getting a Last Ronin video game and a Last Ronin movie. So let's hope they're both good. And let's hope they can both help cross-promote each other. Hopefully the game will... If the game is successful, then this movie will be really successful. Because if people have nothing but great things to say about the game, then they'll be looking at the game as a template, and then this movie would kind of almost be like a video game to movie adaptation. It's of course a comic adaptation, a comic book adaptation, but to many people in the mainstream who are not aware of the comic, who have not read the comic, will look at this and say, wow, this is like a video game adaptation of Turtles. So it would be really cool and interesting to see this. I would really be looking forward to see something like this. And here's a couple images of The Last Ronin. I don't know anything about the story of The Last Ronin. I've been trying to stay out of it so I can be surprised when the game comes out, or when I watch the movie, or if I just decide to read the comic myself. But it does seem to be that the Turtles have died, from what I understand, and they've decided... One of the Turtles takes revenge. I don't know if it's Michelangelo or Leonardo, but they take revenge, and as you can see, they have all the weapons of their brothers, it looks like, from what I can tell based on these images, but that's all. I could be entirely wrong, but that's just my assessment based from the images I've read and from the very brief descriptions I've read. Alright, now before we move on... Damn it, this pen it can't be running out of ink. It's not, see, it's so stupid. There you go. $2 donation from Master Combatant. Seriously, buddy, thank you very much. I always tell you guys these donations really help support the channel and help keep me going. And especially when I was sick and I couldn't work, your donations were really helping. And like I said, anytime you guys donate, it always helps a great deal to support the channel. So thank you very much. Master Combatant says, 2012 and 2003 are my favorite TMNT incarnations. Mine too. I'd say the same thing. But 2012 I did kind of drop off after a point, whereas 2003 I kept watching until Fast Forward, where we watched a few episodes and we didn't like it as kids. I do not Big Bash. I've just had this one for a while, and it should still be lasting. It's got a lot of ink. But I'm sure there's other pens in the house as well, so yeah. But anyway, thank you very much for the $2 donation. And what else have I got to say about this? Honestly, when you get down to it, this is great for me, because I didn't like Turtles Mutant Mayhem, as many of you know. So this seems like a Turtles film that I can enjoy, which is really good. Just keep Seth Rogen away from it, and I'll be happy. So those are my thoughts on this. I hope they don't say he ends up being a producer as well, or whatever. I hope they just keep him out of it. I mean, he's working on that Venom project, so go bring all your dirty jokes to that, but not to this. If this is going to be R-rated, it should be R-rated for violence and for mature tones and themes, not for anything sexual. So yeah. Selena says something very good, which is we need to know who the director is. I completely agree. They better have a good director who can direct some great action and can direct some dark movies. Big Bash says no way Seth Rogen is going to be hired. Who knows? They probably will. You never know. They hired him as a producer for that animated kids show. It's not kids show. The animated movie, which was meant for kids and adults, and look what he did there. So yeah, hopefully they don't let him produce this. Guys, make sure the questions are related directly to this. What are your thoughts on this? Getting an R-rated live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Is this something that you always wanted? Is it something that you didn't even know you wanted? Is it something that you always wanted but you thought they were just never going to do it? Be sure to let me know your thoughts, because this is actually a big deal, this is, that we're getting an R-rated Turtles movie and in live action. Personally, I would have liked to have seen them do it in animation, because I think that they can do a lot with this style of animation, but who knows, maybe if they do it Sin City style, maybe if they do it like a dark noir style, like how Matt Reeves has like photographed the Batman, you know, maybe they can do something like that. I feel like there's a lot of potential here, I really do think that. And we've got a $5 donation from Batman's Gamer. Thank you very much, buddy, for the donation. Oh, he's got some information here about this movie, this story. The Last Ronin is Mikey. Okay, I thought it was Michelangelo. It always looks like Leonardo, though, because I feel like Leonardo would get this serious, not Michelangelo, so that will be really dark to see him go to this dark place. And today is my birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Batman's Gamer. And that's what I meant from the super chats, messaging with the autocorrecting keyboard. Oh, really? That's a shame. It's annoying when that happens, isn't it? But thank you very much for your donation, and a very happy birthday to you, Batman's Gamer. In fact, my birthday's coming up in June. And at the rate we've been going by, we're already halfway through this month. Can you believe it? So at the rate we're going by, it'll be my birthday like any day now. It's scary how fast time goes by. Charleston says definitely has potential. Kevin says, will it be from Nickelodeon? It'll probably be produced by them. They'll have their name there or logo there somewhere. Or maybe Paramount will just keep Nickelodeon's name out, because they own Nickelodeon, don't they? And I don't know if they want to put the Nickelodeon name on something so dark. Dark Saber says same goes for the game. Jacob said, it's meh. That's interesting. Tiskaya says, I'm looking forward to it. Rohan says, this is amazing. I think this has a lot of potential to be an R-rated movie. I think so too. Billy says, the TMNT have always been effing brutal. Finally, people will see it. Yeah, so I've heard. I've always heard that. A lot of people have heard that. But yeah, we'll get to properly see it now. Robin says, maybe Matt Reeves should direct this movie. No, I don't think so. Honestly, I think someone with a very keen eye should direct it. Do you know who I'm thinking? I was trying to think, because I feel like a lot of this imagery that we're seeing in The Last Ronin right here, I feel like we've seen it elsewhere as well. And I was just thinking about it in the back of my head. I was like, what director can pull these visuals off and the action scenes off? And honestly, I think it's Chad Stahelski, who did the John Wick movies. I think he can pull off these action scenes and these visuals very well. If you look at John Wick Chapter 4, like the opening Japanese like setting that they had, he really can pull this off. I think if you give it to him, he could do great action, he can do great choreography, he can do great visuals. Like, seriously, give it to him. He can give it the Kurosawa look. And it'd be really cool, I think, if Chad Stahelski directed this. But this time he had more of an emphasis on story and visual storytelling. If he had more of an emphasis on story and visual storytelling with this, I think he could do a lot. So I would like Chad Stahelski to do this. I mean, isn't he making another movie that is very Japanese-inspired? Ghost of Tsushima, wasn't he supposed to be making an adaptation of that? This seems very much in that vein, so I think he could really do something cool with this. So yeah, I want Chad Stahelski to direct this. Give me a second. Sorry guys, someone came into the stream and I forgot to tell them that they're not supposed to, so, yeah. Okay, let's see. Master Combatant, $5 donation. Thank you very, very much. That was weird. Okay, a live-action R-rated TMNT movie is a pretty cool idea. I'm pretty interested to be on it. I'm pretty interested to be honest. Happy birthday, Batman's Gamer. Mine was April 11th. Oh, so there's two of you. Master Combatant, happy belated birthday to you as well. So, let's see. Big Bash, I live with my family. Yeah, I've never got that startled when doing a video before. Or a live stream before, but I was like, yeah, quickly. Alright. The OG is already scary without being overboard. Yeah, anyone else think they need a horror Jurassic Park movie remake? Yeah, I think they need to bring a more of a horror element back to Jurassic Park. That would be interesting. Eric, so which is your favourite four turtles? My favourite of the four is Leonardo. He's always been my favourite of the four because he's the eldest of all his siblings, has the most responsibility, and is the most mature. That basically is the description of me in general when I was growing up. I felt like that's what the situation was. Because I was the most mature one. I used to look after my siblings a lot when my parents had to go out to do things. And yeah, I felt like I related so much to Leonardo, so I would always pick him. And it's funny because a lot of people say Leonardo is the most boring, but that's what I related to, so that should say it tells you a lot about me right there. What's your favorite Turtles film? Probably the 2007 movie, even though I don't even think that's great. No. Turtles Forever. That's the best. By far. Bill Cipher says, if Monster House ever has a remake, I want Sam Raimi to direct it. Yeah, that would be interesting, because he kind of has his own Monster House in his Evil Dead movies, doesn't he? Let's see. Patrick Stahl, the only live-action TMNT project I liked is the first movie. I would have preferred this to be animated, but I'll give it a chance. Yeah, I would have liked it to be animated as well. That would have been so much more interesting. But we'll see what they do with a live-action one, but I feel like live-action will cost them a lot, whereas animation wouldn't have cost them as much. So it's like, how much are they willing to spend for an R-rated Turtles movie, and how much do they need to make it worthwhile? Robin says they should remake the first Jurassic Park one and base it off of the original novel. Yeah, I read a paragraph from the original novel online. Someone said this is a scene that happened in the movie and this is a scene that happened in the book, and it was when that fat guy died in the car in that first movie. That was much more gruesome and I think incredibly violent in the book, which is interesting. My favourite version of Leonardo Melee is in the 2003 show. By far. My favourite version. Velka says the villain of the Last Ronin is the grandson of the Shredder. That's interesting. So what happened to the Shredder? Tiscalia says, I actually relate to Mikey while growing up. Yeah, I have a younger brother who also, I would say, is more of a Mikey as well. Have you seen the 2012 TMNT? Yes, I have. I did see the live-action movies, I think. Oh, you're talking about the show? Yeah, I did, but I stopped watching, I think, near the end of Season 2, was it? Jess says the 2012 TMNT finale had a Mad Max-style episode where the turtles are all grown up. Oh, that's interesting. Robin says, if you think about it, the four turtles are very similar to the four Robins. Let's see, you got Dick Grayson, then you've got Tim Drake, then you've got Jason Todd, and I feel like you got another Robin that I can't... Oh, yes, Damian Wayne. Kind of, I feel like at the start with I think you had something with Dick Grayson, but I think you kind of lose it the more you go down. Although you could say Damian Wayne is like Raphael in a way, but I don't think Raphael is even that hardcore. He'd like you to think that he is, but I feel like even he would think that's too much. There is no techie Robin, one that's very technically minded. So there's no Donatello there. And the Mikey, maybe you could say that's Tim Drake, but I feel like all the Robins are kind of Mikey in a way. Except for Damien. Jess says, I like Kevin Michael Richardson as the Shredder. He is more serious than the 80s Shredder. Okay, Charleston says, I can relate to Raphael. In fact, my brother, now that he's grown up, he does have elements of Raphael in there. You could say he's closer, but he still has a lot of Michelangelo in him too, so that's a bizarre combination. Oh, Billy, that's an interesting cover. That's an interesting profile picture. Robin says Red Hood is very much like Raphael in my opinion. Yeah, kind of, but again, even Raphael is not that hardcore. Alright, let's see. Jess says, Eric, I don't want this R-rated film to have Michael Bay as the director. Of course he's not going to be the director. Could you imagine if he produces it, though? Man, let's hope he doesn't. Have you played Shredder's Revenge? No, because I'm not really into those old-school side-scrollers. I am when it comes to the DS, and I love the TMNT 2007 game on the Game Boy Advance. That was great. But the old-school Super Nintendo types, I played them on emulators when I was a kid, but they're not really my kind of games. My kind of games now are like the old-school DS games and a couple of Game Boy Advance games. I wasn't really into the Game Boy Advance personally. And PSP games, those are my retro games when I was a kid that I grew up playing, and now when I go back to, they're like considered my childhood classics. Batman's Gamer says, I don't want Walter Hamada to be involved. I'm kind of glad that he's involved because he is the one that, at the very least, allowed these horror movies to be rated R. So it'd be interesting. I think he would be a good producer to at least maintain that R rating, so no other producer can say, actually, let's make this a hard PG-13. I feel like he's a good enough producer there to keep that R rating, so I'm glad he's there for that reason. And from what I hear, a lot of people say in the industry that Walter Hamada is a very nice guy. And from what I've seen of him, he does seem quite nice too. He just didn't really, you know, do very well with DC. But the thing is, DC had a crappy foundation. I don't know how anyone could do well. Even though he did do some pretty crap choices, like trying to bring in Batgirl and Supergirl over Batman and Superman, which was so silly. Owen says, yeah, I was kind of hoping it would be animated. It would be similar to Invincible. I was hoping it would have its own unique animation style, very much inspired by Kurosawa and these Japanese movies. That's what I would have liked, but not so much the Invincible style, but I know what you mean at the same time. He made the recent DC movies rated PG-13, so I don't agree. Well, you got to remember, the PG-13 movies, they were meant to be PG-13s. Those are the DCEU. That's compared directly to Marvel's MCU. It doesn't mean they weren't, capable of making R-rated movies. I mean, look what he did. He made let James Gunn make his Suicide Squad movie rated R. He also let him make the Peacemaker show rated R. So I disagree with that. He made the DC movies PG-13, but they had to be PG-13, and we all expected them to be PG-13 as well. Big Bash says, I miss hand-drawn animation. Me too. The Last Ronin, I feel like would be great in hand-drawn animation. In fact, the more I think about it, the more disappointed I am that it's not animation. I think it would have been much better that way. But at the same time, get a good director with some good visuals and a good art style and everything, and like a good sense of just style in general. I feel like he or she could do a great job in bringing this to live action. But still, I do feel like it's a missed opportunity not to have this in animation. I really do. The Book of Dark says Samuel Jackson should play O.J. Simpson. If the motherfucking glove fits, then it motherfucking must-a quit. Yeah, that would be funny, wouldn't it? Will you pick Misa from Death Note as your girlfriend? No, heck no. In fact, if you look at Misa, she is the one that basically screwed Light over if you watch that show, because he told her, do not come, we cannot be seen in public, and she shows up at his school right in front of Elle. And if you trace where Light really screwed up, it's when, was it Ren orders Light to protect Misa. The whole plan he does to protect Misa, that is ultimately what does him in the end. So yeah, Misa screwed him over, basically. Billy says a Pickles commercial used a really good Raphael suit, so practical effects could work. I'm not saying practical effects couldn't work. I don't think they're going to use it. I think they're going to use CGI. But I do want animation over it. But let's see if they can do a suit. A practical suit mixed with some CGI, maybe. Maybe that will be interesting and cool. Maybe they could make him look like that thing that was in The Village from the M. Night Shyamalan movie, those monsters that were covered in hoods. Maybe they can make him look like that, you know, when he's concealing himself. Bill Cipher, where's my super suit? Where's my court suit? Have you seen Neon Genesis Evangelion? It's good where I'm at. I have not seen it. Spirit Hero says, had to turn down the volume when you were talking about Death Note because I'm currently on episode 2 and don't want spoilers. Oh, really? Okay, then that's good that you dropped the volume because Death Note is one of the most binge-watchable shows ever made. Every show you want to stop at some point, Death Note you want to keep watching. Very addictive. Seen it several times already. But yeah, you don't want spoilers. You don't. But it's a great show. You're in for something really, really special with that. I gave the show a 9 out of 10. Why a 9? Well, I'm sure you'll pinpoint exactly what it is that I did not like, or the thing that at least made me take 1 point away. Okay, so we've got a couple of donations here from Super Chats. Thank you very much again, guys. Master Combatant has done a $5 donation. What would you think if Tom Hiddleston played John Constantine, or if Bill Skarsgård played Joker in Gunn's DC universe? I think they need to be more intelligent. I don't think Bill Skarsgård comes off as intelligent. And Tom Hiddleston, he just doesn't, he comes across, we identify him as too much as Loki. So I wouldn't want to see him play John Constantine at all. And I don't want Bill Skarsgård to play Joker either. But who knows, maybe he could try something different, but I think we'll just see Pennywise in there too much. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And Sumitra Ghosh has done a 100, I don't know what currency that is, but I'll try to write it down anyway and then figure it out later. Let's see. It's like a 3 with a tail at the bottom of it. I'm having to write this down, that's why I'm saying that. 100. Which I feel like if I translated that, it wouldn't seem like... It always seems like as much... It always... Batman's Gamer, don't fall for that. When it comes to translating different currencies, it's always deceiving. It's like you'll always think, oh, is that 100? It actually wouldn't be. In fact, let me just quickly, just for amusement's sake, just to tell you what I mean by that, let's quickly look into how much that would be in pounds, for example. That would be essentially just under £1 in UK money. In dollars, it would be $1.20. So essentially, it's a dollar donation, basically. But thank you very much. 100 rupees, that was it. How can I forget rupees? I know rupees. I've watched Bollywood movies. They talk about rupees, so I know what that is. Let's see. Jess, I think they did do motion capture with the turtles in those 2 live-action movies. Didn't looked alright, looked decent, looked good in places, but it wasn't the best way, I think. Anyway, Sumitra says, kindly make a versus video regarding Roadhouse 1989 versus Roadhouse 2024. I don't think I will. I've not seen the 1989 Roadhouse movie, and from what I hear, it's one of those so cheesy, it's bad that it's good movies, from what I hear. So yeah, I'm not going to really cover it because I don't think there's not really been a surge of discussion with that movie, so I'm going to focus on the ones that I'm focusing on and try to get those done without adding more to my list, and I'll just get nothing done. I love how people are just quoting Samuel Jackson in The Incredibles now. The public is in danger. Godzilla and Kong Forever says, what's your next versus video? It's the Avatar versus video. The show versus the Netflix show. Batman's Gamer says, I thought that was £100. Yeah, it can always look like that. It's rupees, as Abhinav says. Let's see. And thank you guys both for your super chats. I always say super chats really do help. And they really do. Oh, Aritra says, have you seen The Northman? No, I haven't. I've wanted to, and I completely forgot to until you just mentioned it. So thank you for that, but we'll see if I get there eventually. Big Bash says Arabic money is called dinar. Dinar? I feel like if I say it another way, it'll be dinner. It'll look like, or dinner. I feel like there's a way to pronounce it, and I don't know if I got it right. Apologies if I didn't. Well, let's see. Daily Reacts Gaming says, "Hey, how are you doing today? Letting you read the Last Ronin comic 500 times. I say read it when you get a chance to." Oh, you read the Last Ronin comic 500 times. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I'm considering it, or I'm thinking of just waiting for the game and movie to have my first experience with it, but we'll see. Cole says, "What's your score for Interstellar?" I said it right the second time. Okay, that's good. I can't remember what I said, though. Was it dinar, did I say? I can't remember now. Cole says, "What's your score for Interstellar?" I think I gave it a 7 out of 10. I didn't like Interstellar very much. I thought Nolan, without his brother writing with him, he took the script that his brother wrote, and then, of course, I think Nolan rewrote it himself in whatever way he wanted, but it just didn't feel natural, the dialogue in that movie. And it was, I thought, a half hour too long, and at the end when he pulls out the love card, I feel like I can see why people would like it, but I didn't. I was like, it's just a bit too corny. Oh, I did say it right. Dinar. Okay, that's good. That's good. Batman's Gamer. The only one from the cast I know of from those movies was Alan Ritchson as Raphael, Aquaman from Smallville, and Hawk from Titans, and he wants to be Batman. Yeah, he said he did not have a good experience doing that. He talked about that, how they were mistreated doing those movies, and how they promised they'd be treated better with the second Turtles movie, but they were treated the same, if not worse. Which is interesting. Jess said, and now he's become a bigger star, so that's funny. Jess says, it's a shame that we will never see Deathstroke in live action, but no, we are stuck with a goofy, comedic, runny-mouthed, childish Deadpool. Childish Deadpool. Yeah, I know what you mean by that, because Deadpool is a spoof, a parody off of Deathstroke. Even with their names, Deathstroke's real name is Slade Wilson, Deadpool's is Wade Wilson. They both have swords as well, and guns and things, and their costumes do look pretty similar when you get down to it. So yeah, it's meant to be a parody of that character, which is interesting. Big Bash says, "Do you have any Muslim friends, Eric?" Yeah, I have a couple. I don't have a whole lot of friends. I like to have like just my close group. Then after that, I just have acquaintances. We call friends, but they're not the close friends. Batman's Gamer says, "I see what you mean." Caleb Wright says, "Have you seen..." Where is Caleb's question gone? It disappeared. Sorry, Caleb. Give me a quick second. Let me find it. There you go. Have you seen Lego Ninjago yet? It's pretty great. I haven't, but I think I got worn out, tired of the Lego movies, because I think they started to go downhill at a point. I heard Ninjago is better, but I don't know if it's good enough better to make me want to go back and watch that. So I'm not entirely sure. And let's see. Oh, look at that. Jake has popped into the chat. Hi, Jake. How have you been? Didn't see you on the stream. I didn't think you were going to come. Let's see. Oh, Jake even says that. I'm late. By the way, will Nickelodeon put their logo on the film? Also, isn't the franchise still being marketed towards kids? Huh? Very good questions. In fact, someone did ask that earlier. Would the Nickelodeon logo be on it? And I said it probably would. But then I had second thoughts, and I was like, no, probably it wouldn't. It wouldn't have their logo on it, but I think they will just put it under a different studio. They'll have the Paramount logo. It's kind of like when Disney don't want to release a dark movie with the Disney logo on it. They'll have another studio name attached to it. I think that's what they will do with this. So it won't have the Nickelodeon logo on it. But it'd be funny if they did have the Nickelodeon logo on it and they turned the orange splat into red, like they turned it into blood. Like they put the Nickelodeon logo, and then you hear a whooshing, and then you just see a blood splat behind the Nickelodeon logo, and it's basically the red one. The red splat it'll look just like the same shape and splat of the orange one and on their logo, but it'll be red. That would be fun if they did something like that. That would be a great way to start the movie off, with a fun logo like that. But I don't know if they'll allow that. They should, though. It would be so fun if they did that. And Jake also says, also, isn't the franchise still being marketed towards kids? It is, but I think we've reached a point now in terms of marketing and movies and, you know, these broad franchises to where they can make it more niche if they want. For example, look at DC. DC is a movie that's got a bunch of PG-13 movies out there, but now they're making an R-rated movies with Logan and, you know, The Penguin Show and all this, and the Suicide Squad and stuff. So they've shown that franchises can go back and forth between those ratings, and now you're even getting the you got Marvel already doing it with the Fox movies, with the Deadpool and Logan being a PG-13 character, but then was transitioned to an R-rated zone. So I feel like now they're thinking that, yeah, people are more open to this kind of stuff, because the PG-13s are not bringing in all the money like they used to, because people can see through the childish nature of these. So that's why they're trying to say, okay, we are also doing R-rated stuff, because they see that audiences want more mature things too. So yeah, Jake, thank you very much for the $28 donation. Your donations, like I say, they really help, because you always do very generous sums. And like I said this earlier, I said when I was sick and I wasn't able to do any work, your guys' donations really did help. And yours, Jake, they really helped. And they continue to help. So thank you very much. I appreciate your donations. Always, always, always. Thank you very much. Everyone is like, Jake has done it again. Jacob is like, Jesus. Tiskaya is, Jake is back. Batman's Game is like, Jake did it again. And let's see. Oh, Master Combatant has also done a $2 super chat. And he says, I hate the Michael Bay Turtles. I liked the first one. I didn't like the second one. The second one was just annoying and a headache to me. And it was trying to be funny, but it wasn't, so that was just bad. Billy says, speaking of groups of 4 siblings, what do you think about the new Chronicles of Narnia, directed by Greta Gerwig? Well, I don't know if she can do that. Honestly, it feels like she's a director that wants to say a lot of things, which is fine. But I don't think the Chronicles of Narnia was saying a lot of things. It was very specific about what it was saying, and it was very simple. I don't know if she's going to come and just start to make it feminist, which is not what the Chronicles of Narnia needs. It's meant to be a period piece. So, yeah. I don't know if she's going to try to do something to the sisters and make them seem more feminist types. We'll have to see what she does, but it is kind of like, I would say, a downward spiral for her career, to go from Barbie to then go to some streaming Narnia movies on Netflix. She should be going to another movie at this point, but she signed on for the Narnia deal before she even... She signed on for the Narnia deal before Barbie even released, because I think she probably had fears that it might not work. So she thought, let's quickly sign on another deal, just in case. Kevin says to Master Combatant, what about Turtles 3, where they time travel to ancient Japan? That was a bad movie. That was really bad. Spirit Hero says, speaking of Nickelodeon, I'm thinking of boycotting Sonic 3 due to the controversy surrounding James Marsden. I've heard there's a controversy surrounding James Marsden, but what did he say? I never looked into it. I read a title, but I didn't understand what the title was saying. I've seen The Lighthouse, but I've not seen The Witch, Robin. I might have seen The Witch, but I probably just can't remember, actually. Batman's Gamer says, when is the Echo Binge Watch happening? The video is done. It'll be uploaded soon. Batman's Gamer says, where is Adam Grunther? He's probably working or busy. So it's okay. He can catch the live stream later, or hopefully pop in before we stop. Bill Cypher says, have you heard of Nostalgia Critic? Yes, I have. I watched him for a long time when I was younger, but his videos don't seem to be as funny anymore. Now they're just more like very brief thoughts of scenes and then of the final movie, so it's not... I don't watch Nostalgia Critic as much anymore. If I do, I go to the older videos that he did. Jess says, Eric, have you seen a movie called Hobo with a Shotgun? I think I have, but I can't remember. What am I talking about? No, I haven't seen that movie. I think I was responding in my head to another question I was reading. Alright. Let's see. What we're going to do now is move on to the next story, because I think we've been on this story for a while. And like I said, any Super Chats or Streamlabs chats you do, I will then answer your questions immediately. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait for the Q&A session. But of course, any donations are appreciated as well, because it really supports the channel. Alright, let's get ready to the next one. Okay. The next story now is about Captain America 4. Now, during CinemaCon, where there was the Joker 2 trailer, which was like the only real big news of CinemaCon, there were other studios advertising other movies and projects, and Disney came on and they showed footage apparently of Anthony Mackie saving Harrison Ford, who plays Ross, from a White House assassination attempt. Although I don't know why he would save Ross, because Ross is evil. He's been evil in all the previous movies, and he locked up Anthony Mackie's character. So, I don't know. I feel like there should be tensions there. It's kind of interesting that he saves Ross. I don't think Ross deserves saving, to be honest, with all the stuff he's done. Remember the abomination thing he did? Yes, Spirit Hero, that's exactly what I thought. We'll get to that in a second. Now, they basically showed a bit of footage of this, and it's interesting because this movie is being reshot as we speak. In fact, the schedule whenever Marvel do reshoots is so terrible and so bad that you can't really keep a track of when they're doing reshoots, because they might reshoot one day, then they might do another reshoot a completely separate day of just one scene. Or a bunch of scenes. They're really incompetent when it comes to reshoots. It basically shows that they've got a project that is not working, and they're trying to do like 80 to 90% of reshoots or something, like 70 to 90% I've heard. They're trying to do a lot of reshoots. And the bizarre thing is, and here's a new picture that they showed of it, and it just doesn't feel the same, because the actor that played Ross before has passed away. Let me just move this out of the way so you can see me. The actor that played Ross before has passed away. William Hurt was his name. And you can see they've recast him now with Harrison Ford. It just doesn't work. It feels like of all these years of hating William Hurt's, because he did a great performance, William Hurt did, but he really made you hate Ross. So to see him and make you hate that version of Ross for so long... excuse me. To then see him... To see a different version of Ross, it's just not the same. It really isn't. I agree with Jess, I want the old Ross back. It's just like, if you're going to hate a character, you need to have him on board. I think now hiring Harrison Ford, it's just not going to work. It's not going to feel the same. So, yeah. Seth Rollins was supposed to play the villain originally. That's interesting. But, yeah, so... what I want to talk about, really, is just a statement that Kevin Feige made, which was bloody weird. Variety reports, this is what Kevin Feige said just recently, Variety reports Batman's Gamer gave a $2 donation saying, so reshooting the whole movie, basically. Yep, essentially. That's why they delayed it a whole year. Just imagine how much money that's going to cost for Marvel. You know, already their budgets are skyrocketing so high. This is going to make it even higher, and then it's like, well, is it going to even make its money back? I'm guessing it won't. But Variety reports that Feige described Captain America: Brave New World as another fast-paced, relatively grounded action thriller that features no aliens. Now, another fast-paced, I'm like, what fast-paced movie have you got? The only fast-paced movies that Marvel have had recently are ones that have just been poorly paced, where they're just moving so fast-paced because their editing is off, like the Marvels, for example. Even Echo was just weird with his pacing. So to say another fast-paced doesn't really sing its praises. And then he goes, relatively grounded action thriller. Why would you use the word grounded at all? Because this movie, apparently, has a bunch of Hulks in it. So when he goes relatively grounded, I think it's not even relatively grounded at this point. It might seem a bit like a thriller at the beginning, but then it's going to just go into full-on Marvel territory. So that's such a weird statement that he made. And he goes, that features no aliens. Well, even if it doesn't feature aliens, it'll feature superpowered people, won't it? I mean, The Winter Soldier didn't have any aliens in it. Neither did Civil War. So when he goes another fast-paced, relatively grounded action thriller that features no aliens, it's like such a weird statement. I do find that to be a weird statement that he has to point that out. Probably will have crap ton of crappy jokes, Spirit Hero. I love what Big Bash said. The real alien is the MCU humor. That is true, because it doesn't feel like anything human that we've seen in terms of jokes. Big Bash says the MCU died 5 years ago. Yeah, it died when Endgame came out, essentially. Batman's Gamer, they used so many Hulk characters in the OG script, they cut She-Hulk from the movie. That's interesting. I heard that too, that they cut her from the movie. Well, honestly, yeah, after what she was like to Bruce Banner in her own show, I'm glad they cut her out. I mean, they could have written her differently, but still, I didn't like how she was acting to him in that movie. Master Combatant says, I almost forgot to ask about your opinion on the female Silver Surfer cast. My friend doesn't like it. I covered that on my recent live stream. I didn't like it either. It felt like forced diversity, because if you look at Marvel, they tried to we heard all those rumors that ended up being true, that they were trying to gender bend the thing. The only problem is that they didn't gender bend him in the end to a woman, because so people are saying, see, it's just, this is a normal choice. It's not a normal choice what they're doing. They're forcing it. They were like, alright, we can't gender bend the thing, so let's gender bend the Silver Surfer instead. So that's what they did. It was a forced gender bend, essentially. So, yeah. Yeah, so, I've not seen X-Men 97 Hypers. But yeah. Worldbreaker Hulk and not Professor Hulk, says... They should have done Worldbreaker Hulk and not Professor Hulk, says Big Bash. Maybe, yeah, they should have done any other version of Hulk as opposed to the one they ended up doing with Professor Hulk and all that. Yeah, I agree. Because Professor Hulk had potential at the beginning, but it didn't really pan out for everyone later on as it goes. So yeah, people retroactively don't like what they did with Professor Hulk. But yeah, I just don't... I don't know. This doesn't look like a project that fills me with confidence. The fact they're reshooting so much of it, pushing it back a whole year... How many movies have they pushed back because of reshoots, and they don't get better? So this should not really mean anything to anyone. The Spirit Hero says, the only MCU movie I'll be watching is Deadpool 3. Everything else, no way. Yeah, I agree. Because that movie is managed by Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Kevin Feige is not running the show there. So of course it's good, and it doesn't need reshoots at the last minute. So what does everyone else think about this movie and just this statement from Kevin Feige? It's a weird statement. Jake. Yeah. Jake, honestly, if you were in front of me, I would give you a hug. Seriously, you are just so generous with your super chats. Seriously. Thank you very much, Jake. I'll write this down right now, then I'll answer your question. Jake, really, thank you. I don't know if you got any others planned, because you seem to... I don't know why. I've written it down. You always seem to do, like... It's usually 3. In fact, if I look back at my previous page, you did 4 super chats like this. So, yeah, thank you very, very much. You constantly do these, and I always appreciate it. So really, Jake, thank you very, very much. Jake says, you know, it's kind of funny. I was legit worried when Disney bought Fox, but everyone else was happy since the MCU now had full rights to the X-Men. Now, no one really cares about the MCU anymore. Can't wait for them to make Wolverine quip. That's the thing. A lot of people were happy about it, but I wasn't. I also was not happy, Jake. I also was saying that we got Logan, we got Deadpool 1 and 2, we had New Mutants, which wasn't good, but it was still trying something different. I felt like the Fox X-Men were really going into some edgy, dark, and new places. And I really liked that they were being very creative. But then we got, when Disney bought Fox, I was like, okay, so say goodbye to all of that. Now they're going to just be more generic MCU stuff. And that's exactly what I think it was going to be, but because of Ryan Reynolds basically telling them, I'm not making Deadpool PG-13 behind the scenes, I'm positive he said that, because it took so long to get another Deadpool movie off the ground, he ended up getting his way. And it seems to be the right business choice, because a lot of these PG-13 MCU Marvel movies are just not getting in the cash anymore. And yeah, people don't want to see all these quips and everything, so... Yeah, very good question, Jake, and very good observation. Well, it wasn't a question, but it just was an observation. And I fully agree with it. I had the exact same sentiments, and I was always talking about that on my YouTube channel, how I did not like that Disney bought Fox. So thank you very much for that, Jake. You know what? I've not eaten all day today, and I'm starting to get that real pit in my stomach again. So yeah, I'm going to eat in about an hour, I'm going to. So yeah. Ooh. The lightheaded nature has just come back, and it's approaching 7 o'clock. So yeah, I'll be eating in about an hour. Hopefully it'll be good, all good. Big Bash says, I wish Disney never bought Marvel. it worked to an extent, but then they just got cocky. They thought, what, Disney? We can put anything out there and you guys will watch it. Big Bash says, will I eat on stream? Well, to be honest, no, I'm not, because I'm actually trying this little fasting regimen where they basically say that you eat for a certain period. I did this once before and I lost weight because I'm trying to do something like that. I'm trying to try something, an experiment. So I'm gonna have only one meal basically, a day essentially, and yeah. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now, and yeah, that's probably why. I do know you guys did like it when I was eating on stream last time. So who knows? Maybe I'll do that again one day, but not right now. Right now I'm trying something a little different. But no, I won't eat on stream, Big Bash, but probably next time. Jess says Disney should never have bought Fox. Why did they do this? Yeah, I know. Got a $2 donation from Batman's Gamer saying Disney buying their competition, which is very true. That people say that Disney bought everything. They were saying that, wow, they'll even probably buy DC at some point. But the thing is, now they've bought too much that they don't really know what to do with it, and they've failed with all of these franchises and these studios. They failed with Disney, they failed with Pixar, they failed with Lucasfilm, and now they're failing with Marvel, which was their golden goose that was like the envy of the industry. But yeah, they failed on all of it. So, yeah. Not good. And meanwhile, we've got DC revitalizing themselves. Essentially, it's like DC Reborn with James Gunn's DCU. And we've also got continuing franchises like Joker and Matt Reeves' Batman. So DC, I feel like, is in a much better place now to kind of like restructure and reorganize themselves. Meanwhile, Marvel are doing the same shit. Studio Process, have you seen the new Ghostbusters? No, I haven't, but I'm hoping tomorrow I can go maybe, if the weather is good and if I feel like it's a good day to go out tomorrow. I'll go see that and Kong and Godzilla, hopefully on the same day. So yeah, again, any donations you guys do will all, like I say, they always go towards, you know, the channel, and it will go towards that. Will Deadpool reference Hulk 2003? There's a lot of references he could do. But I don't know if he'll reference that. He'll probably reference other Fox movies and other X-Men's films as well, and the MCU. Maybe DC, but I kind of doubt it. Rohan says, do you live in London? No, I don't. I live elsewhere. I don't want to say because it is a smaller place. London is huge. But I have been to London a couple of times. Where the hell are the Russo brothers? This is the Captain America movie, so why aren't they directing it? I agree. The Russo brothers should have been here throughout phases 4 and 5. They should have been, like, you know, playing their part. Because the MCU, they were always making, like, a movie every phase, whether it was The Winter Soldier, Civil War, then Infinity War and Endgame. You know, they came in and they really had a big influence on the whole structure of the MCU, and now that they're not here, I feel like it's deliberately, because Kevin Feige doesn't like that they get all the praise. They're not here, and phases 4 and 5 have just gone to shit, basically. So yeah, Batman's Gamer, we do need the Russo brothers back, but I don't even think they can clean up this mess anymore. Spirit Hero says, I feel as though Marvel bastardized the 2008 Hulk, as they're saying that Edward Norton's serious, complex character is the same as the jokey Mark Ruffalo Hulk. I agree. It's not the same. And it's ridiculous. He's not even the same as the Mark Ruffalo Hulk we got in the first Avengers. Remember what he said when he says he got low and he put a bullet in his mouth and the other guy spat it out? It's like, this is clearly the Bruce Banner we get in Thor Ragnarok and the Bruce Banner we get in Endgame and She-Hulk is clearly not the same Bruce Banner that went through all that trauma. Jacob says, I don't want to do any super chats because I don't want my parents to get mad at me. That's okay. It's alright. Like I say, if you can support the channel, it's appreciated, but if you don't, enjoy the stream. So don't worry about it, buddy. Hi, Puzz, I've answered your question. I said I haven't seen X-Men 97. Got a $5 super chat from Master Combatant. Thank you so much, buddy, for the super chat. MCU fans hate when DC fans say any criticisms about the MCU because they don't even have a cinematic universe. Because they don't even... Let me read that again. Are you talking about DC don't have a cinematic universe? MCU fans hate when DC fans say any criticisms about the MCU because they don't even have a cinematic universe. Yeah, that's ridiculous, though, that is. It doesn't matter if you don't have a cinematic universe or not. You can still criticize the cinematic universe. Because you'd rather have a Batman and Joker movie rather than a broken cinematic universe like the current state of the MCU. Jess says, look how they massacred my boy. They ruined Hulk. Give him back to Universal. Hyper says it was by a bunch of talented writers. The X-Men 97. Yeah, I've heard some people like it, but the thing is, I did not grow up with the 97 X-Men show, so for me, it's like I could watch it, but it's not really watching it and being fully in the fold. I don't think so. Yeah. What would you rate Inception? I gave that a 9 out of 10, I think. I think a long time ago I gave it a very high 8, but then I watched it on my projector like about a year ago or 2 years ago. I gave it, I think, a 9 at that point. I really enjoyed it. Jacob Jean, another fast-paced, grounded action thriller? Yep, that's what they say. That's what they're going with. It's like they're just saying words nowadays. That's the interesting thing about that, I gotta say. This makes zero sense and sounds like a completely false description. Because it's been reported from, like I said, from reliable scoopers for a couple of years now that this movie is supposed to have several different Hulks in it. So with that in mind, how can you call this a grounded movie in any form? It's not. Goodbye, Abhinav. Hope you have a good sleep and you have enjoy your time. Have a good day at college tomorrow. But yeah, do they even pay any attention to what they say anymore when it comes to marketing? Kevin Feige just seems to say whatever he wants. It sounds like they're coming out with false talking points to promote their movie. I mean, they're doing rewrites and reshoots. The only possible thing I can think of is if they scrapped the whole Hulk's idea and changed it to something less expensive. But that doesn't sound like something they'll do. They're still going to go with all those Hulks. Yeah, I don't trust what Kevin Feige says either. Remember what he said about Echo? And I put this in my Echo Let's Binge Watch video. When he says that this is our first TVMA, so we don't have to pull any punches. And they totally pulled punches. Totally. Oh, look at that. Master Combatant. That's sad to see. Master Combatant is leaving. He says, leaving the stream. Says, I got to go, Eric. I'll tune in next time. All right, buddy. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming down for the stream. And it's right around this point we're going to move on to the next story. So... let's move on now to the next story, which is... Let me get it ready here. Mufasa. Ooh, do it again. Mufasa. That's what they should do with this movie. Mufasa, Mufasa, Mufasa. That's the name of this film. And then we can have someone say, I'm surrounded by idiots. Anyway. That's interesting. They don't have the Shadow voice actor reveal yet at CinemaCon. That's interesting. Jake, you said it best. MCU be like, please save us R rating. Please save us R rating. Yeah, but they're not making enough. They don't know how to make the stuff rated R. They don't even know how to make the stuff PG-13. So I'm not surprised that they didn't know how to do the R rating. All right. Yes, Jacob, Mufasa is actually a movie. So basically, for those of you that don't know, Disney is making another movie called Mufasa. And I think this is supposed to be an origin story of what Mufasa and Scar were like when they were kids. I think that's what they're supposed to be doing. So this, I think, is supposed to be a picture of an image of Mufasa. So I think this would have been more interesting if they just did it as hand-drawn animation, and they did it as a prequel to the original animated movie, and they brought the original voice actors back. You know, they brought James Earl Jones back, and then they brought back the voice of Scar, whose name is escaping me. But yeah, what they should have done was brought them back and did that. But instead they're doing it in live action. And I don't know if it will star James Earl Jones, Spirit Hero. But yeah, a live action prequel. Batman's Gamer said it best. Why make a live action prequel? No one wants to see this. It's going to... And I thought the only interesting thing would be is if they made the animation more expressive. But no, it looks like it's still meant to be photorealistic. Jeremy Irons, that's it, as Scar, yes. So here's another image. And here's another. And I captured these images specifically, especially the first two, I captured these images in a way to show the most expressive look of the faces, and it looks like they've added a bit more of an expression to the faces on the first two images, but none with the third one. So yeah, still going to be emotionless. It would have been cool if they could bring Jeremy Irons and do a hand-drawn animated prequel, like I said, with the original, but they are not doing that, unfortunately, and it's disappointing. Very disappointing. So yeah, there's only a tad bit of footage shown in like just a few seconds. Literally, you just get a few seconds shown of these bits of footage here. And yeah, I'm not interested looking at this. So not interested. What do you guys think? You guys tell me, what do you think? Are you guys interested at all, or do you just not care? Like I don't care. Aaron Peer is playing Mufasa in this film. Okay. Because he's younger here, isn't he? But then again, you think they would probably just give him a similar voice to what Simba had, maybe? In the live-action one? I've not seen Alice in Wonderland 2010, Kevin. I've only seen some scenes of it. But I saw that dance at the end, and it was so weird. I was like, I do not want to watch this. And to this day, I've still not seen it. I've seen more of the second movie than I did the first, and I thought that was pretty fun, just in the background. Yeah, Jacob says, I don't care, man. Batman's Gamer says, I don't care as well. Batman's Gamer also says, I'm not watching Mufasa. Rohan says, it doesn't seem interesting. Big Bash says, bore fest. Yeah, a lot of you are just not into it, just like I'm not. So I don't know what Disney were going by when they said, let's make this project. Really bizarre. Cole says, Lion King 2019 sucked, so I don't really care for this. Yeah, I don't care for it either. Tiskaya says, barely anyone cares about the live-action movie. Yeah, I don't care about it too. Robin, see, I don't care. Ethan's drawing, so doesn't care so much. He's talking about Sonic 3. Don't care. It's boring, says Jess. Yep. Spirit Hero, stop with the live-action remakes, Disney. Jacob says, I will only stick with the OG Lion King and that's it. Mm-hmm. Me too. I also like the third Lion King movie as well. The second one was just average. I gave it a 5 out of 10, I think. Shame it didn't have a bigger budget, because you could tell it was cheap in places. Like they couldn't make the climax that big. Big Bash says, let Disney do it. We help out someone that does not want to change. Yeah, we can't help out. So yeah, you're right, Big Bash. We can't help someone who doesn't want to change. So they'll just continue to fail and drive these franchises that we love to the ground. The Movie Kings 3000 says, then releasing this on the same day as Sonic 3 seems like self-destruction. They're releasing it on the same day as Sonic 3. I can tell you which one I'm going to go watch. Sonic 3. Man, I'm really feeling hungry right now. I really got this pit in my stomach. Am I even reducing how loud I speak? Because otherwise I feel like I'll probably get woozy. Jacob says, but wait, it gets worse because they are making a live-action Snow White. They are, but it seems like they're reshooting it and they've delayed it a whole year. It was supposed to come out, was it this month? Originally, but now they've delayed it for this month next year. Caleb Wright says, Eric, choose to do video. Will you do a versus video? TMNT 1990 versus TMNT Part 2 versus TMNT 3 or TMNT 1990 versus TMNT Mutant Mayhem? I wanted to do some versus videos of Turtles, but right now is not the time. We'll see when I do it. But I wanted to do a versus video of the other two Turtles movies, the two Michael Bay ones. A long time ago I wanted to do it, but we never got around to it. So, has anyone got anything else to say about this? Or have you said everything you need to say, which is that you're just not interested? Rachel Zegler, I will say a lot of those things about her. You know I've said a lot of things about her. I've also spoken in, fair terms for her. I've never insulted her. But she did do something recently which I was like, okay, that was good. Is when she supported Palestine. I was like, that's good. But I feel like these actors need to do more, because look at what the levels we've got to now. The thing that's going on in Iran, that whole thing, not to get too political, but it's basically being done just as a distraction. If a big thing is started over there, people will not be looking over here at Palestine and Syria and all these other places that Israel is bombing. So it's a big dirty tactic. And yeah, I feel like people should really like hold them to it. But I am glad that Rachel Zegler said what she said. Jake, that is one of the funniest things I think I've read. I'd rather watch someone play with lion action figures. More expression. Yep, for sure. For sure. Man, you guys are so funny. Seriously, there's a lot of you say these things that are just that I could not come up with stuff like that. Maybe when I'm looking for jokes for my videos, I should give you guys a pass. Yeah, Big Bash, that happened too. This is not all new. They like to make it seem like it's new, but it's not. And it was done in retaliation, meaning that someone else started bombing them first. So it's like if you just didn't bomb first, this wouldn't happen. It's like Israel thinks that America is going to want to fund a whole war with them, with Iraq. It's like, well, let's see if they do, because they really seem to be Israel's bitch, America. So we'll see what else they do for them, how much more billions they'll spend on them. Yeah, Jacob, she does. That was good of her. I'm not the type to, to like just crap talk someone with everything they say just because of one thing they said that I don't like. Also, I'll judge them on a case by case basis. Big Bash says, remember when the Iraq War was going on, Eric? I was too young when it went on. But yeah, growing up, I do not approve of that. But they did it, and look at what they've spawned out of it. It's just an excuse to go do what they want to do, which is steal resources and oil and all that. Robin says it well as well. Just watch a documentary with lions. Crazy Cat Lady says Jeremy Irons is the voice of Scar. I agree. He is. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave in about 5 minutes because I really feel like this pit in my stomach and I feel like I just need to stop talking too much. So, if there's any super chats that you want to do, just to support the channel as you can, I would appreciate that. And of course, you can attach a question to it and I'll answer that for you. If not, and you just want to chat, we can chat for the next 5 minutes. But like I say, as much support as you can do really does help. Charlton says, the fact that celebrities support Israel, it feels like it's hard to like most people in the world, even though no one is perfect. Thing is, no one can be perfect. You know what? I'm going to be a little bit real with you guys here. I've always been real with you guys before. But, I've always been real with you guys before. Like when Melissa Barrera got fired, I was very real with you guys then. A lot of people on YouTube don't like to be real because they don't like to speak out about these kinds of things to their audience in fear of losing certain demographics. I'll be lying if I don't say I have that feeling too. But when it comes to serious stuff like this, I usually be more direct with you. Fireboy, I have to go. Goodbye, Eric. Oh, goodbye, buddy. But some opinions really do matter when it comes to big things. So when people say stuff about, say, the LGBTQ community as an example, and people get super mad and offended when someone says something, I'm like, you don't have to agree with someone. Look, here's the thing. When it comes to like the LGBTQ community and the reason I bring that up is because that's a hot button topic where when people talk about it, all of a sudden the boycotts come, the cancel culture comes in, the insults come in. If someone says, say, I don't agree with it. Now, life is full of disagreements. If you look at, like, people disagree on many things, like many things. They disagree on big things and they disagree on small things. People disagree on whether you should put pineapple in pizza. So disagreements happen. Movies, people disagree on movies. People disagree on different kinds of art. People disagree with different kinds of opinions. Heck, if you had a bully at school, someone will say to you, hey, you should have dealt with it more aggressively. You should have decked them. Someone else would have said, don't stoop to their level. Like, and they'll have disagreements. Opinions happen all the time. So I think there is nothing wrong with having a different opinion. So if someone says, I don't like pineapple on pizza, that doesn't mean that you start to, shout abuse at that person. It's an opinion. If that person treats you differently because you like pineapple on pizza, now that is the problem. The same way if someone treats you differently because you like a movie. That's where the problem comes in. So it's the same thing, and I'm using that as a smaller example and a slightly higher example so I can bring to you the bigger example, which is the LGBTQ community. Now, if someone says they disagree with it, like they don't agree with, with gays, what's the word? Homophobe? No, it's homophobic. What's the word to describe not homophobic, but someone being homosexual? That's the word, homosexual. That's okay, reviews. You're here now. Oh, that's interesting, Big Bash. A lot of gay people online I watch disagree with the newer community, so even they hate what's going on. Yeah, what I was basically was I say was that if someone disagrees with someone, says I don't agree with someone being gay, or I don't agree with transgenders, like, you can have those opinions, and it's perfectly fine. But the problem is that society makes it out like if you even have those opinions, you're a homophobe, you're this, you're that, you're a horrible person. No, you're not. If you disagree with homosexuality, it doesn't mean that you are a horrible person. What makes you a horrible person is if you treat that person differently because of it, or in a negative way because of it. That's what makes the person a horrible person. You still have to treat people with respect. You can just have disagreements with everyone. There's no problem with that, so long as you're a good person. Thanks, Jake. It's great seeing you. I'm going to end the stream soon, like I said, so thank you for sticking through with the stream. So, you can have a disagreement, but society makes it out like, no, you can't have a disagreement. You must be like this hive mind. You must all have, believe what we want you to believe, and agree with what we want you to agree with, and disagree with what we want you to disagree with. And that's wrong. If people are going to have disagreements over pineapple on pizza and over movies and things, well, naturally they're going to have disagreements with bigger things. So I don't know why people get mad when people have those disagreements. Like I said, so long as you treat that person with respect, that's all that matters. So yeah. Manola says, true, I can't support the community because of my religion, but people have attacked because of that. Exactly, and they don't need to. Are they going to agree with your religion, for example? No, they're not. But like I said, they should respect and still not treat you any differently because of it. And likewise, you shouldn't treat them any differently because of it. Simple. But society is like, the people on the left always like to make it seem like they're the innocent ones because they're pushing for the right thing, but they're pushing for it in the wrong way. And it's like, I can't agree with that. The same thing with the people on the other side as well. So, yeah. Left-leaning, right-leaning, all that stuff. Alright, everyone. We've got 2 minutes left on... I'll give you 4 minutes left on the stream, and then I'm going to go. Spirit Hero says, I think you put it best in your Hogwarts Legacy video, Eric. Yeah, I can't remember how I described it, but I described it in a way there, yeah. I have those thoughts when it comes to things like this. Yeah, so... Yeah, any comments, questions, super chats, anything, do it now, because in the next 4 minutes I'm gone, and of course any donations, like I say, they always do help and support the channel. And I'll probably put some of your donations towards getting myself a meal, because the fast that I'm trying to do to, experiment with this weight loss thing, and this dehydrate, and what is it? I'm forgetting words all the time. What's the word? A detox. This stuff with a detox, which I'm trying out, I got to be consistent with it, so I can eat in about under an hour, about 50 minutes, and yeah. Ooh. Review says, when's the next stream? It's next Sunday. Every Sunday we do a live stream. Big Bash says, I remember I had a gay teacher before, and where's your question gone? And he did not bring it up once, but we knew. He was a good teacher. Yeah. The weird thing is how people always keep bringing it up. I don't keep bringing up to people that I'm straight, but other people always keep bringing it up. It's like, yeah, do you want a cookie? It's good. If it's for you, then whatever. That's good for you, but don't start trying to seek out attention from other people. Rohan says, what are your thoughts on Smallville Season 10? I like all the seasons of Smallville. What was the other question one of you asked? Rohan says, what do you think of the song from the Smallville intro? I love it. I really do. Let me see. What would you give Tenet? That was it. Cole was always asking that. I did a quick movie review of Tenet on my YouTube channel, so I'd recommend you go watch that if you really want to know what I think. Arathorn999 says, petty divisions are just stupid. We have bigger problems to deal with. Yeah, like the Gaza situation. And now what the shenanigans Israel is pulling with, Iran. Man, you guys are so generous, really. If I would see you in person, I'd give all of you a hug. Manola has given a $2 super chat. Says, Eric, have you heard of Miraculous Ladybug? I don't think I have. Let me look it up. Is it a movie or something? And Jake, don't think I didn't see that. We'll get to you after I answer this question. Oh, I have seen Miraculous Ladybug. I've seen the poster, but I've not seen the movie. Is it a series? Yeah, it's a series. And it seems to be a movie now, too, on Netflix. Looks like pretty cool animation from what I'm looking at on IMDb. Looks nice. It does look very nice, that animation. But no, I've not seen it. What's my score for Blue Beetle? Have I not reviewed Blue Beetle on a live stream or something? I think I gave it a 6. A 6 or a 5. I can't remember. Jake said... But Jake has done... Jake, seriously, I would give you a bigger hug. Because you keep doing this. You never stop. You always support me in these ways, and I really appreciate it. Jake says, by the way, you know the movie If. It's Imaginary Friends from Jake... Not Jake. Damn, why am I forgetting names lately? John Krasinski. A movie from him, which he said he was making for his daughters. I was sort of interested in it until I found out who voices the gummy bear. Anyways, you seen the movie Rango? Yes, I have. I loved that movie. I thought it was really good. What are your thoughts? Also, what versus video are you planning next? Interested in the Valley Girls idea I had? No, Valley Girl, I remember when you asked me about that, but I've not looked into it beyond what I said I would look into it when I found out what it was, but now I've forgotten what it's about. The Gummy Bear. Was the Gummy Bear voice that woman in, what was her name, who was in Indiana Jones 5, was it? But yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people said it looks like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I think it looks like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends combined with Drop Dead Fred, if you ask me. That's what it seems like to me. Goodbye, Spirit Hero. Thanks for dropping by the stream. I appreciate it. But let me have a look at the Gummy Bear voice. Is it credited as Gummy Bear? I just gotta make sure. There was another movie called Imaginary, which came out, a horror movie, so it's interesting. Yeah. Is it Phoebe Waller-Bridge that voices Gummy Bear? Or is it Aquafina? Matt Damon voices someone called Flower. Steve Carell voices Blue. Huh, John Krasinski is also the voice in here as well of someone. Oh, there's a bunch of posters here that say the voices. Let's see. The voice of Gummy Bear. Let me see. Who's the voice of Gummy Bear? Where is Gummy Bear? I never thought I'd be saying that out loud. Oh, Keegan-Michael Key. Yeah. He's only ever in these movies to do one kind of thing, isn't he? Yeah, I'm not going to like that. But yeah, it's interesting that John Krasinski said that he made this for his daughters, a movie for them. Because when I found out about it, I was like, yeah, just show them Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. They're probably too young to have been, you know, to grow. They were probably too young to grow up with something like that, but should be on Max. You know, watch it and show it to them. They'll really enjoy it. Jake, thank you so much for the super chat. The next versus video I'm planning, that's the last question I've got to answer, is... thank you, Big Bash. I appreciate that you appreciate that I don't lie, and that's why you respect me. I appreciate that. That's why I respect from other people, so that's why I make sure I do that with you guys, because I respect you guys too much to, you know, just give you fake opinions just to get a pat on the back or something, like what Disney do. They don't respect their audience. They're just looking for the pat on the back all the time. But yeah, Jake, my next versus video is the Avatar versus video. Then it's going to be the Puss in Boots 1 versus 2 versus video. And in between, I'll see if I can do a Godzilla versus Kong versus video. And as well as a Godzilla versus Kong video. I'll see if I can also do a Ghostbusters versus video with Afterlife and Frozen Empire. But that's if I watch them and I think, okay, this has potential for a versus video. Then I'll try to do a short one. I love what Jake says here. I agree. Be good people, everyone. Don't disrespect other people's point of views. Yeah, people will be much more nicer to each other if they respected each other's point of views. It's like, yeah, I don't agree, but I'm still going to treat you like a normal human being. That's all. That's good enough, but society thinks, no, you must agree with what I've said. Jake says as well, Amy Schumer voices the gummy bear. Yeah, don't know what the character's name actually is. Oh, so this is not the gummy bear, this green thing. He's got a lot of obnoxious voice talents in here, does he? Yeah, Amy Schumer. I don't know why. George Clooney has a voice in here too. He needs his space. Some friends stick with you. That's a bit of a lame one. So no Valley Girl. I've never watched Valley Girl. I would like to give you an opinion on it. Let me search it up again. The 1983 one are you talking about? Oh yeah, it was a Nicolas Cage movie, wasn't it? Jake, do you know what I'll tell you? If you want me to review Valley Girl, all you gotta do is do what I've said on Patreon, which is you can commission a review video from me, and I'll review the movie for you. I'll watch it, I'll credit you, I'll dedicate the video to you, and I'll review the movie on my channel. Commissions are on Patreon, so if you really want me to do something with Valley Girl, that is probably my best answer to you, is to do that. Again, it'll support the channel, and you will get the video you want, and I'll give you a proper review. It doesn't seem like the kind of thing I would ever normally review, looking at the poster, because Nicolas Cage looks so funny in that poster. But yeah, Jake, if you want Valley Girl, like what I've said to other people who've requested and done some commission videos on YouTube, on Patreon, I'll cover it for you. I'll cover whatever you want. Manola says that he or she has to go. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm gonna have to go now. See you, Eric. See you. Thank you very much for dropping by. I appreciate it. Caleb says, give me your thoughts on Kung Fu Panda movies and give a score. I haven't seen them in such a long time. I need to see them again. I've only seen the first two. I've not seen the third one or the fourth one. So yeah. So is that a good answer, Jake, about Valley Girl? It means that I can cover it. It means that I can cover it for you if you want me to. Smoothie King. That's a badass name. Have you seen The First Omen yet? I have seen The First Omen, but not the new First Omen. 2 days ago, I think, I watched for the first time the original Omen movie. Never seen it. And that was my first time watching it. So I haven't seen The First Omen, not yet. But it does look creepy from what I've seen, from some clips and things. And people say it does seem quite scary. So yeah, it seems pretty cool. I'll give it a watch. But we'll see when. It's getting good reviews, and I like the original. What about you? Also, are you excited for the vampire movie Abigail and for the TMNT thing? It will be nice. Abigail? Yes, I'm looking forward to that. I want to watch that. Problem is, from what I've heard, the first 45 minutes tries to make it make it a mystery. Like this big mystery that you gotta, they try to make it like a big mystery, like you're not supposed to know that she's a vampire, but then the trailer and the marketing and the posters already spoils all that for you, from what I've heard. So yeah, that would be a bit of a disappointment. Yeah, Jake, it'd be cool if you did, because I've got a lot of content there. It would be great for you, because if you get that, you'll also be able to watch the rest of my Patreon content as well once you go for that commission video. So yeah, you'll get a ton of extra content, and you'll be supporting me on Patreon. And if you want, you can actually get a movie review from me every single month. And there are limited spots on Patreon for these commission videos. So if you take it, you can keep it for, say, the rest of your life. And as an example, I'm not giving you any ideas, but if you wanted to do that, say if there's one spot available, because with some of those Patreon exclusive perks I've got for commission videos, there is only one spot. Whoever gets there first takes it. No one else can ever take it until that person lets go of it. So if you took that one-off spot and kept it, you own that spot. It means every month you'll get that kind of video from me, basically. So yeah, it's an interesting thing that you could be a part of. Anyone who wants to donate and support the channel but want to get something back from it as well. There's something really cool there. Also, what do you guys think of this new jumper of mine? It goes very well with the color of my wall, the color of my face, and it's perfectly in contrast with the color of my beard and my hair. I like the look of that on this. I'll probably make this my go-to shirt then for streams. Smoothie King says, yeah, it looks like fun, but again, I'm not sure who we're supposed to root for, because technically the villains should be the people kidnapping shouldn't be the people kidnapping a little girl. Shouldn't it? I think you spelt it a bit differently, or I read it wrong. Because technically the villains should be the people kidnapping a little girl, wouldn't it? Unless they're sympathetic. I hear the main character is sympathetic. She didn't want to go that far. But it's like the movie, what was it? Don't Breathe. They were trying to make you care for those main characters that were trying to rob from a blind old man. And then they find out that he can defend himself, and all of a sudden the movie expects you to care. I did not care for them. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this live stream. I'm going to... There's 30 of you watching now, which is probably that's still a lot for this rate of live stream. Thank you so much for all your donations, for all your super chats. I really do appreciate it, guys. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. You guys are so nice to me, and if it isn't for your super chats, I would not be in as good a position as I am. You guys really do help. So thank you very much for the super chats. Jake, thank you very much for constantly donating these large sums. I always appreciate it, and it always helps me. It really, really does. And I hope to catch you on Patreon at some point, Jake. Whatever you want me to cover or review, you can look at the perks and the commission perks and choose whatever you want. And if you do it during a live stream, I'll put your name right here where it says new Patreon members, and I'll keep your name here for the rest of the stream, and it will be there for the rest of time, as long as this live stream is on YouTube. That's great, Smoothie King, if you rewatch the stream. Big Bash says, thank you for making these videos and streams. You're an amazing creator and person. So long, Captain Eric says, Arathorn999. Jake says, no problem. Thank you very much, all of you. Really, I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I love all of you, and I'm so glad you're always here, sticking with me on these live streams and on my channel and supporting me. It means the world to me, really it does. So, this is Captain Eric signing off. Thank you very much, everyone. And I'm going to go eat some food now before I pass out. And I'll catch all of you very soon. Take care.